Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back. This is not a podcast. This is just my thoughts with Rob Markman. So over the weekend, Outkast was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Donald Glover gave the induction speech. Big Boi and Andre took to the podium. They gave their acceptance speech and thanked all of their family and friends and colleagues, the whole Dungeon family, the late Rico Wade, of course. They thanked the rappers who inspired them, the Kilo Ali's of the world, the Raheem the Dreams, Busta Rhymes, Missy Nas, Wu-Tang. Their whole crew just joined them on stage. And when Dre took to the podium and gave his speech, he talked about coming up in the Dungeon family, and in the dungeon, in the actual basement, Rico Wade's basement. And he had a great quote, and he got choked up. He alluded to a speech that Jack White made, but he got choked up and said, "Great things start in little rooms," was the quote, just hearkening back to the beginning days of Outkast. And after the speech, Big Boi, JID, Doja Cat, Tyler the Creator took the stage. Killer Mike, Sleepy Brown, Janelle Monáe, all of them took the stage to perform a medley of Outkast records. And last week I did an interview with UATL, part of the AJC. Shout out to my man Gavin Godfrey, who wrote this article, but asked me to do an interview. The headline was "Ain't No Debate, Outkast is the greatest rap group of all time." And that's what I want to talk about today, because I believe it. So like, subscribe, comment, do all of that, share, hype it up. Just going to talk some hip hop today. And talk about why I believe Outkast is the greatest rap group of all time. Also want to shout out Salt and Pepper, who they were also honored during the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. And also do want to say, because people seem to get this confused when we talk about Grammys or Billboards or something like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think any of this defines our greatness. Like, it's dope to be recognized, and people make it like it's an either or thing. I've always said this: it's dope to be recognized, but these things don't determine what's dope in our culture, right? But it's dope to be recognized, and far be it from me if Outkast accepts that honor and wants to be honored in that way. That's amazing. They worked hard for it. So Outkast, the greatest rap group of all time. So I'm gonna get into it, right? I've said it in the past. The reason why Gavin hit me up, I guess, was because of an old tweet that I had sent, or old video I had made, I think just on IG or something like that. But he said he's seen something on social media and wanted to reach out to me. And I mean, it's the way I feel. I believe Outkast is the greatest rap group of all time. Now, the truth is, greatest of all time is subjective. People gonna feel away when you see it, but your greatest of all time is not someone else's. My greatest of all time is not someone else's. And me saying Cast is the greatest rap group of all time doesn't diminish others. The truth is, I don't know where hip hop will be without Run DMC. I think Run DMC is in the conversation for sure. They changed the way rappers rapped. They changed the way rappers dressed. The Adidas moment was so influential. The My Adidas song, and then Run, having everybody in Madison Square Garden hold up their Adidas and showing the power that hip hop can actually sell product, and just how influential hip hop was. And then Adidas did the deal with Run DMC. So, I mean, that's a huge moment. The rap and rock hybrids that they did, I mean, they were the king of rock, down to the Walk This Way video with Aerosmith and what that did to bridge worlds together and stuff like that. So Run DMC, I don't know where we'd be without Run DMC. NWA surely came through and changed the game. Absolutely. With Fuck the Police, with Straight Outta Compton, with just gangster rap in general. Wu-Tang is in that conversation with all of the talent and that contained in that one group, and also how they structured their business and their deals, that when they signed their group deals, they made it so that each member can also be a soloist. And then just the music and the talent. Wu-Tang is in that conversation. So I know a lot of people who hold Mobb Deep holds that title of greatest rap group of all time for a lot of people. Some people put a Tribe Called Quest in that conversation. There's some people who put Bone Thugs as their greatest of all time. 3-6, clearly super influential. All great groups, all time great groups. Like, all of them, it's subjective. Like, I wouldn't argue you about your opinion when you're talking about a group that is clearly great. But for me, it is Outkast. And when you just look at how they came into the game in 1994 with Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, to me, that's when Atlanta truly put the rest of the world on notice hip hop wise, right? Also credit to, and I always credit Arrested Development, who came a few years before them and had a ton of success. If you go back, I have a video that I did on Arrested Development and why I feel Arrested Development is so important. And every chance that I get, I'm gonna give Arrested Development they flowers, man. I think they did an amazing job. But Southern Playalistic to me marked the real moment when all of the world got put on to Atlanta hip hop wise. Like everybody got put on notice. Like there was no, you're not gonna see Atlanta. The fact is, pioneers in Atlanta like Kilo Ali, like Raheem the Dream, didn't really make it to the rest of us, or at least let me just speak from my perspective, at least not in New York. And then you had groups like Another Bad Creation is out of Atlanta. Criss Cross is out of Atlanta, but I don't know that they really sounded like Atlanta, like we did. Like it wasn't as much a part of their identity. Like where they're from wasn't as much as part of their identity. Besides the fact that they were just making hits. I didn't know where Another Bad Creation was from. I had assumed they were from Boston because they were with Michael Bivins. So I assumed New Edition, Boston, Another Bad Creation. Like that was the assumption. But it wasn't the case. Criss Cross coming out of Atlanta also, and Jermaine Dupri, and this is really the beginning of JD's musical dominance, and obviously what he's done for Atlanta is amazing. But when I seen Criss Cross, I didn't see Atlanta. I saw two kids my age, it was relative to me, my age at the time, who were rapping, and I'm like, damn, man, like kids could do this too. This is dope. And they wore their clothes backwards, and they had a hit record like Jump. But to me, they kind of flowed like Naughty by Nature. It just kind of fit. It was just a hit record, and we loved it because it was a hit record. I don't know if that all sounded like Atlanta though. And then we had TLC, who we give credit to as well. Even though they shot the video for Baby 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 in Bowie State, like just seeing like the HBCU in the video, and so many people cameoed in that video who we know now who are in the Atlanta scene. Maybe them we didn't know, we were just learning, but TLC of course gets their props. But again, to me it was that Outkast moment, man. Outkast just came in southern as fuck. I remember watching the Players Ball video and thinking like, where are they from? I remember thinking like they were kind of like Souls of Mischief a little bit, because I remember the 93 to Infinity video, which I had that album. I love that album. They were like in the woods, they were like in nature, and there's parts of the Players Ball video when they're like in the woods and in nature, and that was the connection that my young mind made. But something was different, and of course they were wearing Atlanta Braves jerseys in the video, but I didn't put two and two together just yet. It took me watching the video a couple of times, but like I was intrigued as fuck. And then because they were rapping their ass off, the Players Ball was just amazing. And I remember hearing Big rap about the package store. Like I'm trying to catch on, like what are they saying? What are they talking about? And I'm like, what the hell is a package store? Like I didn't find out till years later that that's the liquor store. And I'm like, why they just don't call it the liquor store? But it was really that video that put me on the cast. And they weren't getting radio spins like that in New York at all. But we had Rap City. We had Yo MTV Raps. Even Video Music Box, which was a local show in New York, did a great job at showing us music videos and acts from all different regions. So not that we didn't only get to hear the songs, we got to like see where they came from. So I got put on through Outkast through the music videos. And first time I heard the word trap, if you think about it, like we called it crack house, like it's the crack house. First time I heard the word trap was through Outkast and Goody Mob, like for real. Then of course there was the Source moment, right? 1995 Source moment. Andre gets up there, hey man, the South got something to say. And that was a big lightning rod moment. But I will say, yes, Cass got booed at the 95 Source Awards. And yes, it was in NY. But I don't think it is absolutely, and I always say this, like the headline is like NY was hating on Outkast. And NY could be closed off. NY could be like, yo, we just on our New York shit. We not trying to hear anybody else. There was definitely parts of that, but there were plenty of fans in NY, again, who will watch the box or Video Music Box or Yo MTV Raps or Rap City and listen to shit from all over. Like LA was definitely playing, West Coast was definitely playing Dr. Dre and Snoop and Domino and Warren G, and so we was listening to shit from all over. We wasn't just on our New York shit. Going back to the 95 Source Awards, what I will say, like, again, it's a little bit of New York being on its New York shit, but I think the overarching thing that everybody kind of looks over is that everybody in the 95 Source Awards was on some bullshit. You had Bad Boy versus Death Row. It was tension in that motherfucker. And even backstage, you had Bone Thugs versus Death Row. It wasn't just the East-West thing. Like, people were at each other's throats. So when people were getting up there winning, it was cheering and it was booing. You know what I'm saying? When Big got up there, when Snoop got up there, like, everybody was getting it. So when Outkast, I think they were unfortunate recipients of that. They obviously did not deserve that. Outkast is an amazing group and deserved that award. But, you know, Dre got up there. Hey, man, the South got something to say. And that's a lightning rod, unforgettable moment that is etched in hip-hop history. But the thing about Outkast that makes them great to me is the music. No two albums are the same. We go from Southern Playalistic, which was just like really Southern and soulful, from Players Ball to the title track, Southern Playalistic, to Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something. Crumbling Herb is one of my favorite Outkast joints of all time, maybe top 5. My favorite Outkast song is In Due Time with CeeLo, that was on the Soul Food soundtrack. I love In Due Time. Like, that song just get me through some shit. But what I'm saying is a Funky Ride. Like it was all this shit. And really, when you got the Southern Playalistic album, it was an introduction to Atlanta when you first get the tour guide and the skit and the thing that lets you in, and then you know, okay, yeah, this is Atlanta. So it went from watching them in the video, just hearing the single, to when you get the album, it's like, okay, it was really like almost set up as this tour guide through Atlanta, and put us on for the first time. So that first album is special. Then you get to AT Aliens, and they started dressing different. They was really living up to the names. Elevators was such an unconventional single, but it was dope. But it was definitely like, what the fuck is this? I remember hearing Elevators on Hot 97. Like, that's when I first started hearing them on the radio. But again, I would see it on Rap City all day. And, you know, in the music video, they're literally aliens, me and you, your mama and your cousin too. Like, man, that shit was just funky, but it was different. It was nothing else like that, right? Then we get to Aquemini, and they get a little more strange or weird or whatever adjective you want to put on it, with Rosa Parks, the art of storytelling, right? Spody Odie, Skewed on the Barbie with Raekwon, Liberation, like that album was so diverse. But at the same time, you know, when you get to Aquemini, it becomes clear that it's like, oh, Outkast is never going to do the same thing twice. Each time out, they're going to stretch the limitations of what we see as hip hop. They got George Clinton on the Aquemini album, right, on synthesizer. But they was giving us raps. They was giving us ill raps. But they was giving us funk. They was giving us soul. They was giving us Afrofuturism. It was just limitless, the creativity, right? And with each album, they stretched the boundaries of what Outkast was, and ultimately what hip hop could be. And to me, that's where their greatness lies, right? Like, the way they were able to expand the boundaries, but it always felt hip hop. It never felt like Outkast was abandoning us. It never felt like Outkast was saying hip hop's not good. Sometimes when you get these groups that and acts that want to expand outside of hip hop, sometimes it could come off as hip hop isn't good enough for hip hop. I'm an artist, I'm not a rapper. And you know, that type of thing. And you know, if hip hop isn't enough. And it never felt like that with Outkast. It always felt hip hop. They always felt rooted in hip hop. They always rap for hip hop. They always gave you the dopest bars. But musically, they let all of their influences into the room, and then what they emitted out, like, just again expanded, created like new spaces for new generations of hip hop artists to express themselves in different ways. It was never like they were selling out, but they was just creating space for us to be more expressive, right? I think Outkast made it so that like a Tyler the Creator can exist, right? Like, and be bisexual. Like when Tyler kind of came out and it was like, oh, he like dudes too. It wasn't really a big thing. It wasn't like this. And in '96, it might have been like even Andre, you know, like you know, hey, what's up with Andre? Is he gay? Like that was one of the bars that Outkast was spitting. That like when Andre started dressing more and more eclectically, that was some of the rumors that he was facing, right? Hey, what's up with Andre? Is he gay? You know what I'm saying? And they was going through that, and he wasn't. He was just expressing himself, but it became such a big thing because you had never seen something so different. It was like, oh well, he must be gay. It must be a sexuality thing, and it wasn't that at all. By the time we fast forward and get to Tyler, I don't think hip hop is tripping because Outkast is one of those groups that helps show us the brilliance in being yourself, the brilliance of being different, the brilliance of accepting who you are and then admitting it out into the world as long as you do it in a dope way. And so now we have Tyler, the creator, who can exist. He could wear a wig for the Ego album. And then he could get DJ Drama for his Call Me If You Get Lost album and essentially make a Gangsta Grillz mixtape for a Grammy Award winning album. And he could rap his ass off. He could produce with these bright chords and that are inspired by Pharrell. And he could be weird, but he could be dope. I think he killed it when he did Bombs Over Baghdad, inducting them into the Hall of Fame. I think he killed it. I think Outkast makes it so a Doja Cat can exist, but also a JID, right? Who just raps dope. JID just rap dope. He don't put on a whole bunch of eclectic clothing or something like that. He put on his Braves hat and then he just get busy. But it still comes from the DNA of Outkast. Like, he just rap dope as fuck, and he give you the storytelling, and he give you all that Southern perspective without having to conform to what else is going on around him. You know what I'm saying? By the time Stankonia drops, continue to just expanding the sound. That's where we get introduced to Killer Mike. He comes off of that tree. We get a timeless record on Stankonia, like Miss Jackson. Something so soulful, like so fresh and so clean. And then we get that drum and bass chaotic vibe on Bombs Over Baghdad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just couldn't put these guys in the box. And then you get the Speaker Box and Love Below, the double album, the Grammy winning album, the Diamond Plaque album. Andre just fully embraced being different. And if you listen to Speaker Box, I think Big was actually taking even more musical chances with the production, because though Dre wasn't rapping and it was like, oh man, he not rapping, he gave us a totally different album. A lot of that music is very pleasing to listen to on the Love Below. It's just a smooth listen. Big, with the big bombastic production, Big Boi was actually taking chances musically, and I think challenged us as listeners. I mean, like, ghetto music is such a chaotic vibe, flip flop rock, things like that. Like Big is not like Big was ever playing it safe neither. He didn't maybe dress up like Andre did. Maybe he's not out there playing the flute like Andre is. He maybe isn't as eclectic looking, but Big also definitely, if you just listen to Speaker Box, look at how he's pushing the boundaries of how everything sounded when that album came out. And to me, that is the strength of Outkast, is that they challenge themselves every album. They pushed the boundaries. They lasted for as long as they did. We're talking from 1994 to 2003, and really after that, because they put out the Idlewild, and we got joints after that. And obviously, Big is still carrying it. Andre is still doing his thing. But these guys are just so revered. We still get new artists every day who are like, "Yo, man, I'm a product of Outkast." To me, and then they could rap their ass off. I don't know who could rap with them. Like, when you talk about in a group, like, they are 1A and a 1B. They both top tier elite level lyricists to me. I know we get this thing that we put Andre above Big, and I think because we always feel like we got to compare the two. But if they were soloists, Dre would be one of the best lyricists. Big would be considered one of the best lyricists. Like, if they weren't together, where we were forced to consider them together, I don't know that we would necessarily put one on top of the other. But to me, there is a 1A and there's a 1B. To me, they both top tier lyricists. They both alpha lyricists. They both will rap you under the fucking table. And to me, that's what makes them great. I don't know who your greatest is. Let me know in the comments. Tell me who you think the greatest group of all time is in the comments. But I think it's Outkast. To me, it's Outkast. All right. Till next time. Peace.